Alright guys, this is Patrick again, DCI Guy 02. If some of you were watching my videos from earlier when I was doing my errands, I did tell you that I was going to go through some maintenance things that I do and just let you know what I do to keep my phone in good shape, to keep it clean and everything like that. This is what I use. I use this little solution. I got this at Fry's, little generic brand solution. It does the job. You don't really need to go out and buy some fancy cleaning solution or anything like that. What I find is rubbing alcohol works fine. If I'll save these bottles. If you do buy these solutions, save the bottles, because that's a really good way to apply something like that. Windex, works really fine, but you have to be careful with Windex, because it can, if you have like a touch screen on your phone, Windex will damage it over time. So you need to use a solution that is good for touch screens. But a screen like this, a little plastic screen or a little plastic acrylic, Windex is not really going to hurt that all too much. But save these bottles, and you can always refill it and spray it and everything like that. This came with a little towel. I don't really like this towel. I don't really use it for too much. It's not really microfiber. It's more of it's a little coarser than that. It's not as fine, but it does the job. Nothing fancy, just something to get in there. What I do use with this though is I have it wrapped in there. It's this little cloth that I got with my computer when I got my computer not too long ago. This came with it, and I figured, that's just kind of wimpy. It doesn't really have any. I can clean the whole computer with this one little screen, so I went out and bought these little microfiber mats, automotive section at Walmart. It's really easy. Go and buy like a 2-pack of these for like $3 or $3 or $4. Nothing much. But I use this for my phone. Take this with me. And the other thing that this little kit came with, the solution, the cloth, came with this little brush, which I thought was really nifty. As some of you saw in my other video, didn't really go too much into it, but it's like a brush. It has about the fineness of a makeup brush, one of those big makeup brushes that you use on there. Now you don't have to go out and buy this just for the brush or anything like that. If you want to, assemble your own little kit together, that's fine. Go be more than. But I saw this. It was cheap. It was like $7, and and they had the Monster Eye Clear that was like $12, $14, and it just had like 2 little microfiber brushes and a bottle of the cleaning solution. But I saw the brush in the other one, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. That can get into some really sensitive areas. You don't have to sit there and scrub and to try and get these out. And sometimes that compressed air, that'll damage some things if you're not careful with that. Especially if it gets shaken, and you get that fluid that comes out. Yeah, that's no good. But this is little nylon little brushes. It's very soft, very good for those real sensitive places and like that. It's not really gonna damage anything like that. So, just a rundown of what I do to clean my phone. Obviously I use the microfibers and the brushes and the cleaning solution to wipe down my screen, wipe down my keys. I usually try and get in here in between the keys. And I usually have my phone turned off so that I'm not hitting keys and calling somebody by accident or like that. If I'm doing like a really deep maintenance, then I turn off the phone just to make sure. The other thing that I do is I'll try and get in between the crevices here and all that. Try and get all those little dust pieces that get out. What I do have here on the back, and I did have a Zag invisible shield on the front here. It worked great, don't get me wrong. It does exactly what it says it does. It protects the screen. It doesn't really show too many scratches. It does this little self-heal thing. I mean, it's pretty cool. The only thing is it got dirty along the edge here, and I really hated that, so I just peeled it off and took it off. So I didn't really want to deal with that anymore. The other thing about that too is if you're gonna buy a Zag, be sure you make some time for that, because that thing is very sensitive. I mean, it's very, very sticky when it gets wet. By itself, it's not sticky at all, but when you apply that solution that comes with it, anybody who has bought one knows, it gets really sticky. So if it touches itself, I mean, it won't come off. It's a pain, and they cut it very intricately to fit into all those little different spaces and around like that. So take your time when you get those zags. Take your time in applying those, because you're gonna need it. But the video's running a little long, so let me just get to the chase. But I took one of those zags and I cut. You know, it came with a 3-pack for like different phones. I don't know why it would do that, but it was like the Blackberry Pearl Curve and the 8900, and they all came in one pack. I just bought it for the one screen shield, and then I took one of the other shields and I cut it. And if you can see, a little, not too bad. If you can kind of see it there, I cut it around so that I can protect this little space right here, because you know, if any of the the things here, that's still exposed. That's one of the main things that's exposed, and I didn't really want to leave that, so I just cut one out so that it would protect it at all times. So that's still on there, still looks great. That's basically what the beauty of the zag does. That's what the zag does, and it still looks pristine. Okay, into the cleaning. Here we go. I usually pop off the back cover, take the back cover off. You know, give this a little wipe down with a microfiber. You know, I'll take the little, you know, the brush, dust some real, you know, sensitive parts off there and everything like that. Because any of you who have a microfiber ever used it, it does kind of leave those little hairs every now and then, depending on what kind of microfiber that you have. I used to use before I got this, I used to use canned air to get in here, just kind of blow away some of the parts. In here, behind the battery, you know, inside here and all of that, that's fine. You know, it won't really damage it too much. Just be careful. Don't, you know, get that that fluid on there and all like that. But around here, this is where the speaker is. And I was very, very careful when I used the canned air. But then when I got this is a lot better, because this does not damage the speaker. Your speaker is safe. You don't have to worry about that. You really just have to be careful coming around this speaker and everything like that. And just give this a nice little dusting and everything like that, and you know, you're done. It's nothing too much about it. If you keep it clean, it'll stay clean. You don't have to worry about that. Now, a lot of people don't know, and probably if you have a Curve or even a Pearl or any one of these Blackberries that has the Trackball, a lot of people don't know this actually comes out, and it's not that hard to take out. And they have, if your ball becomes damaged, they make repair kits where you can buy just a little trackball, and it comes in this little assembly. You can take your nail or a really small screwdriver. Just be very careful if you're very anal like me about you know, scratching the little chrome plastic and all like that. Just be careful. But it comes right out. As you can see, there's a little cover piece, and then there's a trackball. And if any of you are old enough to remember the old mice that had the trackball on the inside, and you'd have to take it out and clean the mice, you know, the little gunk that got on the rollers and all that, that's exactly the same principle here. You just have to take this out every now and then and just kind of clean the rollers, clean any dust that's on there and like that. For this, I do use canned air because it'll get in there and you're not really hurting anything. And then to put that back on, you can see how that is. And you can see right here, it's got the way the little ball is, it's pointing in an arrow. It's got a little circle, and then there's two little lines going on right there. You just line that up, the lines go up, phone's up, and just drop that in there, and that's all you have to do. And it clicks right into place. All the little catchers, you know, get in there, and it's a little sensitive. I hate doing this, but for the sake of education, it, bam, just clicks right in there. And then you just put the plastic cover. You'll see it has 3 prongs instead of 4, and then the one that has the prong that's missing, that goes on the top as well. And you just drop that, and you're done. You just click it back in place, and it works fine. But there you go, guys. That's just a few little maintenance tips that I have there for you for the Blackberry 8330. So hope this helps in what you're doing, and I just hope. Anyway, well, I'll see you guys later. Peace.